This was a cabin vacation nightmare. Sisters survived as paroled criminals killed their family, set fire to their cabin, and kidnapped them, planning to sell them for satanic rituals. Lene would confess that when they arrived at this cabin, she would go happily upstairs only to be met by a man pointing a gun at her. His family was Kay and Rolf Teed, who had 3 children, Trisha, Lene, and Sean. They were all told to sit down by this man and another man who had also shown himself as well. They were shoving things in their pockets, but then they began shooting. Kay was hit 3 times, and her mother, Beth, she was also shot 3 times. One of these men looked down at Beth the grandma and said, "This bee won't die." He then shot her in the head twice. And then around 2:45 p.m., Rolf and Trisha arrived. Rolf was shot in the face and fell to the ground, and Trisha and Lene were then held outside by one man while the other went inside with gasoline and Rolf. They watched as gas was poured all over their family cabin before Rolf was shot in the head once again. This man then lit a match and set the cabin on fire. Trisha and Lene were then forced to get on snowmobiles and drive these men down to the family car. But soon enough, the girls were rescued and the killers were apprehended. Rolf was transported to the hospital in critical condition. It was found that it was a miracle that he was still conscious. He had 1 bullet through the side of his skull, and another bullet had misfired but had hit him in the face, not penetrating. Edward and Vaughn were charged with 2 counts of criminal homicide in the 1st degree, 1 count of attempted criminal homicide in the 1st degree, aggravated arson, 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping, aggravated robbery, theft, failure to respond to an officer's signal to stop, and aggravated assault. Vaughn had confessed to being the shooter and killing both victims, and he ended up being sentenced to death. Edward Deli was found guilty of 2nd degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison.